Always remember, your focus determines your reality. Stay close to me, and you'll be safe.
How are we doing today, everybody? How are we all doing? So, today is going to be a fun video for me to make because if you guys did not know, I love Luke a lot. He's one of my favorite characters of all time, and now seeing him in this game makes me just get all, makes me want to do some crazy things because I love this character, and I did say I wasn't going to wail on him. I think I am because there's a lot of reasons to why I want to get him. Not just because he's my favorite, but there's a lot of different uses I feel like he's going to be very, very well in. And counters, especially counters, to some of these really, really strong teams in the game. But I just want to say, just go down the list of all of the Jedi we have so far in the game, right? Which ones are the best? And which ones, I mean, we're not going to go through all of them actually, but we're just going to go through like the best ones, honestly. The best ones. General Skywalker, he's a top dog. For a little bit, he will be, until Luke, right? But then also you have Yoda, you have the Anakin up here, the other Anakin, the pretty cool Anakin I like a lot, the better looking Anakin, as I like to call him. And then you have a lot of these other tanks, support, stuff like that. But in this list, for the, not really a list, but like just like the top DPS damage Jedi in the game, the one that I feel like takes the cake by the furthest amount is for sure Jedi Knight Luke. This person is ridiculous. He has, in my opinion, most of the, if not all of the best Jedi put into one kit, and his variations and his usability, his versatility, his flexibility. He's pretty flexible, if you don't know. It goes all around. It goes all around. Every aspect of the game, you'll be able to use him, I feel like, especially when in regards to the Jedi, especially because he's a Jedi. He works so well with a Jedi. But, I mean, with this, we already know that Gas has some ignored defense, I think, on some of his abilities. He has an AoE daze as well. But this person with Luke, once you can use this Stalwart Advance, you give him and another Jedi who is not Old Republic Jedi will for 2 turns. This means that you have a 100% counter chance, which is just like a Basil Shan Fallen's battle meditation with all that extra counter chance. You even have more offense like a Hermit Yoda's Master's Training, more speed, right? But the most important thing here is he ignores defense when he has Jedi Will. And this is not just for him, yeah, it does share for other people. But for him having that capability of ignoring defense, especially with how he is one of the highest damage dealers in the game, it is going to be incredible. The amounts of damage that we will see today. And I have a few videos I want to share my point with of why he is such a very, very strong character. And I wouldn't say just yet that you should go for Rey. Between, Rey or Luke, you should go for Luke first. I wouldn't say that just yet. I would still go for Kylo Ren because he is a very, very powerful character. But I just want to share with you guys how powerful this character is in regards to counters, because I feel like this guy will be a top dog in a very long period of time, as we'll see in the future. But another person I want to bring up here is Shaak Ti. So I don't want to take too long here, but very similar kit designs with their basic abilities, because both of their basics can dispel and then deal damage. So if you did not see or really watch a whole lot of these videos of Luke recently, well, I want to show you a couple of counters to a Kylo team that are extraordinary. I feel like they're very, very interesting. But also coming back over to Luke, why I can't talk. You get the same exact stuff, but even more so than Shaak Ti. You dispel buffs and then deal damage. What this means to a Kylo counter, and what I feel like this will probably counter Kylo's a lot more efficiently than Rey's, is because of the basic right here. Because with Kylo teams, they have all this advantage, and if they have so much advantage, well, you can't really crit them because of the new buff they added to Kylo's team with they are immune to crits while they have advantage. But this right here, you dispel the buffs, you dispel the advantage, and then you get a guaranteed critical hit. If he did use his repulse before he does basics, well, that's going to be a guaranteed critical hit with a vulnerable here. And that is very, very huge here. You pretty much with Luke have almost always going to have guaranteed crits. You don't have to worry about much of that. But this right here, this basic, is what I feel like will be a huge cripple to Kylo teams. And of course, all the other pieces to the puzzle here. So, 4 or 5 minutes in the video, I know. I want to talk about Luke a lot because I think he's a very, very underrated character. I think Luke is one of my favorite characters, if not he is my favorite character right now in the game in terms of kit design and just him being a badass. So yeah, that's all that for my talking about why I feel like he's so strong and why he's going to be very, very good in counters as of right now. So let's go over to the videos. So we have a few of them to share. These are all versus the exact same Kylo team, I think. We're using this specific Jedi team, though. And I want to say shout out to my guildmate, Thami, for the footage here. So here we go. This is a JKR lead with JKL with some other of the Jedi buddies here. I guess before we get going into it, one more thought here, one more thing I want to say and bring up is JKL's leadership is crazy. It's bonkers. Both him and JKR's leaders are amazing, right? But I just feel like there is more to the puzzle for the JKR that we already have had, more so than there is for the JKL. And it's really hard to split up these two teams now because there's not enough Jedi to go around. So in counters, this is why I'm thinking he's going to be very, very important because it's going to allow you to save gas for a different team, which is extremely, extremely important. And in this one, we're not using GMY, so you can actually use him with either a Padme team or perhaps some other weird Jedi team you want to toss him in with. But I do feel like this is one of the strongest counters out there currently to a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren and is extremely consistent. This is not versus a Malak one, but I can almost guarantee you that if there was a Malak here, you would win without any doubt, without any problems at all. So a big thing here, if you want to learn a little bit more about this counter, if you want to use it for yourself, if you happen to have, you're one of the few 700 or so people who have Luke, one of the first things you want to do is modding your JKR to tank that first hit so he doesn't proc the Savior early on. And then once you get your turn with Luke, you want to do the repulse, stun everybody. And a very, very important asset here is Old Ben. Old Ben, there is actually 3 characters, including Luke himself, 3, I guess 2 others if you don't want to include Luke, that are going to be so instrumental to any future Luke lead teams, or really any Luke team that is Jedi, that's a Jedi composition regarding Luke. And those 3 is, of course, Luke himself, Old Ben, and Hermit Yoda. Those 3 have extraordinary synergy with Luke and how his kit functions. It's really crazy to me. So I mean, we'll have a few more for me to actually go in depth of turn by turn of what's happening here. But the synergies between a repulse, AoE stun, and an Old Ben's mind tricks with a TMR offense down and potentially ability block, all those are % chances of sticking. That right there is one of, if not one of the strongest. What was I going to say there? It is one of the, if not is the most strongest duos for turns, back-to-back combos I can ever think of in this game. I think it's so strong. You either have them get a guaranteed stun and then they get their turns back and then Old Ben mind tricks them back down, or you do it all at the same time and they're just so slow. And the thing here, I really think between those two people's synergies with their AoEs, the TMR and the stun, is if this was a Luke lead, they now have lower speed, which makes them actually, when they all have Jedi's Will for when they do the Masters or the Heroes Arise ability with the leadership, they all gain that more speed with the Jedi's Will buff, and you'll get so many more turns if you have that little combo with a JKL stun and also the Old Ben mind tricks. So this is one I'll go by a little bit more in depth here, why I feel like it's so strong of a counter. So first things first, you kind of want to tank that first hit, then you want to mark Hux. With JKR's leadership, it actually stops some of the TN gain from other leaderships, which is very crucial. I could be wrong there, the wording is a bit off, but I'm pretty sure it stops the TM gained from Hux and the Kylo's leadership, which is very, very important. Right there, we got TMR on to Kylo, but we did not get an offense down. Offense down is a very, very underrated debuff you can apply to a Galactic Legend, both Rey and Kylo. You just pretty much neuter all of their damage output, which is incredible to me. The Old Ben, like I just said, he does the TMR, he has an offense down which really stops Galactic Legends, and also he applies ability block. On top of that, when Luke uses his Stalwart Advance, where he grants another Jedi that's not an Old Republic Jedi the Jedi's Will, he actually also inflicts Blind, and this will be incredibly useful later down the line once it is just a Kylo left, because you can inflict Blind, he can do an AoE, and all of his AoE misses, and he doesn't give any ult charge to himself, which just makes it pretty awesome. And honestly, it's really awesome. Another reason why Old Ben is so awesome here is that if he does die, he gives out more TM to the teammates, more buffs, and more healing to the team. It is awesome. The synergies between these 3 characters, Jedi Luke, Old Ben, and Hermit Yoda, they are off the charts insane. And I do think that if you guys were to go for a Luke, I would highly recommend getting your Old Ben up as well. I feel like that is going to be a very, very necessary person to toss in here, not only just because of this counter, but you're going to allow your GK, your other Kenobi, to be used in a Padme team elsewhere, which is a very, very important thing here. And just looking at this team all together here, the only person that I feel like is a must-have is, of course, Luke. And in terms of how break up your teams is, well, I mean, he doesn't really have a team that goes. We just talked about it a little bit ago. He doesn't really have a full team that is for him and himself. So in this terms, I think this is a great use of your characters. You're not pulling out too many characters and teams. You're not stripping them all apart. You don't have to use Jolie here either. You don't really need a revive because you're never going to die, honestly. And this is just a very, very solid counter. It will probably be able to beat a lot of different Kylos out there. I don't think that this will be a strong defensive team because of how the AI always plays with the Luke and who Yoda gives out the Master's training to. But when it comes in terms of an offensive counter, this will probably be a very, very consistent counter, in my opinion. And this is the reason why I'm going for this character for Luke, to have a more consistent counter versus a Kylo team, just in case they happen to fix the 5s AoE, where Kylo always prioritizes 5s over anybody else. If they fix that, I want to make sure I have a very consistent counter to Supreme Leader Kylo Ren without using my own Rey in GACs and TWs. So here's the last one, guys. Again, these are not versus a Malak team, but I can almost assure you that if it was, Malak stands no chance because you're seeing the amount of pure damage output that Luke does here. He crits a lot of different times with the rally ability here. He just murders people, honestly. And the mind tricks, like I'm saying, guys, the mind tricks, this huge stun, you pretty much just stop all of the extra TM capabilities that the Kylo team can produce, the First Order can produce, and then you just buy yourself so much extra time and turns where you just slow them all down, you speed up, and the train just keeps on chugging along. It's pretty incredible to see. And not once has a Kylo been able to use his ultimate. This one, there's not an ultimate Kylo, but in the other ones, I don't think we saw an ultimate pop off. So all you're pretty much doing here, like the last few bits of strategy here, is you want to just feed so much of your turn meter and your turns to a Luke, and then right there, Old Ben dies. Then look at the TM gain you're going to get here. And then it just, honestly, the Old Ben, I mean, I can't say enough of Old Ben here. I think Old Ben and Luke, their synergies are off the charts. Everybody here plays a huge part here to feeding Luke and making him just go crazy. And honestly, if Old Ben didn't die, he hasn't died in a couple of these battles. The banners are going to get here on the offensive in a GAC is going to be very, very high. So that's probably it for this counter. I just want to go over my last few tidbits here before I hop off, because I do like this counter a lot. I love this character a lot. I have so much love for Luke. He is such a crazy, awesome character. I just want to kind of go about, in the last little bit of just why he's so good. And if you guys are close to him, if you guys are deciding whether you want to go for Rey or if you want to go for Mr. Luke here, but also if you have Kylo and you're pretty close to Kylo, I'd probably stick to Kylo. Kylo's just really good. But Luke, however, I would probably, between Rey and Luke, they're pretty close in terms of what you want to play and do around with them, because you got a really strong Rey team for defense, and you have a Luke that's going to be a counter machine when it comes to Galactic Legends, in my opinion. Again, this is just for a Kylo counter. Kylo is by far the strongest defensive team when it comes to both of the GLs at the moment, with a new recent buff they gave to him. So this is the reason I want to go for him. And the Rey can be pretty strong as well. I haven't seen any footage of a Luke countering a Rey though just yet. We'll probably have to see. I think it probably can still. It's just going to take a couple more characters here in my opinion. But yeah, this whole character's kit is pretty crazy. And in all these last few battles we've been showing, I don't think my guildmate had any of the Zetas, so it was just pretty much Luke being Luke. No Zetas added on at all, just being Luke and just destroying people. So that's probably going to wrap it up for today, I think. If you guys love Luke like I do, you guys got to let me know down below, because I love the event for one, and I love how he plays out in this game. I think he's a very, very fun character, and I just can't wait to unlock him. Hopefully, we'll have to see. But yeah, thanks guys for watching today's video. Any comments, just let me know down below what you guys think about all this stuff, this counter. It's just a lot of fun, I think. This is one of my favorite counters I've seen in a while. The damage you can do here is crazy. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, share it around. If you guys are new to the channel, feel free to sub, because I do a lot of different videos here on the game, counters and whatnot, helping you guys out along the way in your journey of your SWGoH stuff. But yeah, that's it for today. Go check out Discord, go check out Patreon, go check out all that sort of stuff. And until next time, I'll see you all later. Peace out and have a good one.